Today marks the first anniversary of the inauguration of Donald J. Trump as President of the United States. And so it's time to take a reflective look back on the year past, and the national media is certainly having a field day doing that. But when you boil it all down, who can argue that we as a people and as a nation are better off today than we were a year ago? It's the old Ronald Reagan test, and the Trump administration passes it with flying colors. Forget about all the tweets and the distractions and the intemperate remarks. The fact of the matter is that our economy is firing on all cylinders, and our foreign policy is strong and keeping us safer by the day. The ISIS caliphate has basically been destroyed. North Korea is at the negotiating table, and here at home, our economy is thriving. The American people are safer and more prosperous than they were 365 days ago. And we have Neil Gorsuch on the Supreme Court and dozens of constitutional jurists in federal courts at the Circuit Court of Appeals level and at the federal district judge level. All of that good for the economy, good for our people, good for the world. And this week, President Trump came to beautiful Pennsylvania, to Coraopolis, to talk ostensibly about the successes of his tax cut program and bill, which are already manifesting themselves in so many ways. I mean, think about it. The market at 26,000, the fastest 1,000-point rise in the history of the market. And when you consider that it took until the administration of Ronald Reagan to even get to 1,000 points, to have 1,000-point jumps now in a matter of days is really phenomenal. But don't judge the economy simply by the stock market. Look at the other sectors. Economic growth in virtually every sector of the economy. Unemployment way down to record lows, especially among the minority community, and employment up. Bonuses coming to millions of workers. Apple announcing this week the repatriation of billions of dollars previously offshore, and new jobs for America. It's working. It's really phenomenal when you think about the fact that Nancy Pelosi and company were telling us that this was Armageddon, that it was all sorts of apocalyptic things were going to happen. Exactly the opposite has been true. It's been good for the country. And while he was in Pennsylvania, President Trump took the time to endorse Rick Saccone in the special election in the 18th Congressional District to fill the seat of the resigned Congressman Tim Murphy. Now, these special elections always get the national spotlight. So here we are, 2 months before it's going to be held, having the President of the United States weighing in. And as they've taken the national spotlight, the Democrats have always said, here's our opportunity to pick up a Republican seat. The problem for them is that it's never happened. Yeah, they've made it a little closer than it might have otherwise been expected on occasion, but from Georgia to Kansas to Montana, 5 for 5 last year, Republican seats remained in Republican hands in the House of Representatives special election. So why would this one be any different? Well, Democrats are going to try to paint Rick Saccone as ultra-conservative. This in a district that Donald Trump carried by 20 points. No aberration because Mitt Romney carried it by 17. And although it is registered Democrat, it has been for the past 2 decades voting increasingly Republican in state, federal, and national elections. So there really isn't much running room for the Democrats, who have put up a candidate who, by the way, says he won't vote for Nancy Pelosi if he happens to get elected to Congress. Clearly somebody who wants to run closer to President Trump than further away from him. That's hardly the resistance candidate of the Bernie Sanders wing of the party. So watch Congressional District 18 as it increasingly comes into national focus. But remember this. When the dust settles, it's most likely that Rick Saccone will be in the well of the House with his hand on a Bible. And for now, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.